If your life is going to change, you must be the one to change it. Not your boss, not your neighbor, not the government. You. One of the greatest realizations a person can have is this. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a product of your decisions. Now that might sound like a heavy load to carry, but it's also the most liberating truth you'll ever hear. Because once you take responsibility, you take back control. You see, it's easy to blame. Blame the economy. Blame your parents. Blame your past. But when you blame, you hand your power over to things you cannot control. And that, my friend, is no way to build a future. If you don't like where you are, don't curse the soil. Don't shout at the sky. Don't wait for the wind to blow your way. Pick up your tools. Work the land. Plant new seeds. You may not be able to change the seasons, but you can certainly prepare for them. Taking full responsibility doesn't mean you're to blame for everything that happens. It means you refuse to be helpless. You refuse to sit on the sidelines of your own story. You get in the game. You own your wins. You own your losses because it's your life, and there's no substitute player coming. You want better health? Start walking. You want better finances? Start learning. You want better relationships? Start listening. Everything gets better the moment you get better. Discipline, not desire, determines destiny. It's not what you hope for. It's what you work for. And you'll never work for something long enough until you decide, this is on me. The most powerful words you can say are not I wish. There. Stop waiting. Stop explaining. Stop explaining. Stop blaming. Start becoming. Take full responsibility and take your life back. You are responsible for your life, not anyone else. Ownership brings power and possibility. This might be the most important truth you'll ever hear, because the moment you accept it, everything changes. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you. You stop blaming your past, your parents, your environment. You stop pointing fingers at circumstances you can't control. And you start asking a better question. What can I do about it? When you take full responsibility, you take your power back. You step into the role of the author, not just the character. You realize that while you can't always choose what happens to you, you can always choose how you respond. And in that choice lies your freedom. See, people spend years waiting for the world to be fair, waiting for others to change, waiting for the right time. But life doesn't reward the ones who wait. It rewards the ones who take action. You don't need permission to change. You don't need everyone to understand your path. You just need to own where you are and be honest about where you want to go. Maybe life has knocked you down. Maybe people disappointed you. Maybe things haven't gone your way. That's real. That's valid. But the question remains, what will you do now? Because no one's coming to do it for you. No one's going to chase your dream like you will. No one's going to build your habits, fix your mindset, or fight for your goals the way you can. Responsibility is not a burden. It's a privilege. It means the outcome is up to you. And that should excite you. Because if you can create problems, you can also create solutions. When you stop saying, they did this to me, and start saying, here's what I'm going to do, you evolve, you move, you grow. That's how people rise, by refusing to play the victim, by refusing to live in blame, by accepting that no one else owes them their best life. You owe that to yourself. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. But you do need to show up. Own your actions, own your choices, and own the results that come with them. That's real power. Because when it's your fault, it can also be your fix. Your habits, your thoughts, your decisions. They are the architects of your future. So build wisely. Start now and keep going. You are responsible for your life. No one else. And that responsibility is the key to your greatest potential. Blame is easy but disempowering. Excuses delay progress. Responsibility accelerates it. Blame feels good in the moment. It takes the pressure off. It lets you point the finger somewhere else and avoid the uncomfortable truth that you could have done more. But here's the problem. When you blame, you hand over your power. You give someone else control over your future. You say, it's not my fault. But what you're really saying is, I'm not in charge of what happens next. That's a dangerous place to live. Because the longer you stay there, the longer you stay stuck. Blame might protect your ego, but it also changes your potential. Excuses sound reasonable. They often carry a bit of truth, but truth without responsibility is just a trap. You say you didn't have time, but you did have time for something. You say no one helped you. But did you help yourself? Excuses build walls. Responsibility builds doors. If you want to grow, you have to stop explaining why you can't and start showing how you will. The people who rise are not the ones with the perfect story. They're the ones who said, "This is where I am, and I'm willing to do what it takes to change it." Excuses are heavy. They repeat in your mind like a loop that tells you why you're stuck. Responsibility sets you free. It says, "I'm not where I want to be yet, but I have the power to change it." There's no growth without ownership. You can't fix what you won't face. And you won't face it as long as you're blaming someone else for it. You can't move forward if you keep pointing backward. If the problem is always out there, then the solution will always feel out of reach. But if the problem starts with you, then the solution lives within you too. That's where true progress begins, not in perfect circumstances, but in powerful decisions. It's tempting to say, "I would have made it if they helped. I could have done it if things were fair." But that mindset keeps you waiting for things to change instead of changing yourself. Ugh. Excuses don't pay the bills. They don't build the body. They don't repair the relationship. Only action does that. And action is born from ownership. Every time you take responsibility, you gain momentum. You stop sitting in the problem and start walking toward the solution. The shift is subtle but life-changing. It's the difference between being stuck and being in motion. Blame is easy, but the easy path rarely leads to greatness. Responsibility may be hard, but it's where all your power lives. Choose it, live it, act from it. Because the moment you stop making excuses, you start making progress. Control what you can. Your attitude, actions, and habits. Don't waste energy on what you can't change. Life is full of things outside your control. The weather, other people's opinions, unexpected challenges. You can't stop them from coming, but you can choose how you respond when they do. That's your real power. Your attitude is a decision. Your focus is a decision. Your response is a decision. And every decision you make shapes your life. You don't control the storm, but you can control how you prepare for it. You can choose to stay calm, to stay disciplined, to keep showing up no matter what's happening around you. Your energy is limited, and what you give it to matters. If you waste it on things you can't fix, you'll have nothing left for the things you can. You can't control traffic, but you can control whether you complain the whole way or use the time to learn something, breathe deeper, or just choose peace over panic. You can't control if someone disrespects you, but you can control whether you lower yourself to match them or rise above and hold your ground with strength. You can't control the economy, but you can control how you manage your money, how you grow your skills, how you adapt and evolve. You can't control whether people support you, but you can control whether you support yourself, whether you believe in what you're building, and whether you keep building it anyway. Don't get stuck fighting battles that aren't yours. Don't get caught trying to fix things that are outside your reach. You have a job to do, to become the strongest, most focused, most disciplined version of you. And that begins by narrowing your focus to what you can influence. Your habits shape your future more than any outside event. Your routines are more powerful than any random obstacle. And your mindset can make even the worst season a platform for your next breakthrough. The world won't always go your way. People won't always treat you fairly. But you don't need the world to be perfect to become excellent. You need focus. You need discipline. You need discipline. You need the wisdom to say, "I can't control that, but I can control this." You control whether you get up early. You control whether you train your body. You control whether you speak with integrity, whether you work with intensity, and whether you keep your word. That's where your future is built. In the small things done daily with purpose, not in the noise, not in the chaos, not in trying to bend the world to your will. Peace comes from knowing what's yours to carry and what's not. Progress comes from mastering what's in your hands instead of stressing over what's not. You want to change your life? Start with your habits. Start with your mindset. Start with the actions you repeat when no one's watching. Because that's where the real change happens, not outside you, inside. Control what you can. Your attitude, your actions, your habits, and let the rest go. It was never yours to carry. You can't change the seasons, but you can prepare for them. Personal growth is your preparation for life's inevitable challenges. Life moves in cycles. There will be seasons of ease and seasons of struggle, seasons of harvest and seasons of drought. You can't stop them from coming, but you can be ready when they do. Just like the farmer doesn't curse the winter, you shouldn't fear the hard times. Instead, use the time you have now to become stronger, wiser, and more prepared. Winter always comes in finances, in health, in relationships, in business, and those who thrive are the ones who train for it before it arrives. You can't control when life gets tough, but you can control whether you're ready for it. And preparation always begins with growth. When you choose to grow, you're not just learning, you're building mental strength, you're building discipline, you're building resilience. You're putting tools in your toolbox for battles you haven't even fought yet. Because the test will come. The question is, will you be ready to answer? The time to sharpen your skills is not when you need them. It's before. The time to build financial discipline is not in the crisis. It's in the ordinary days when no one's watching. The time to build character is not when pressure hits. It's in the moments when you choose integrity even when it's inconvenient. Preparation isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the early mornings, the extra reps, the books you read when others are wasting time, the promises you keep to yourself when it's tempting to quit. You can't avoid the storm, but you can build shelter before the rain falls. You can't avoid loss, but you can develop gratitude so deep that even pain can't steal your peace. You can't predict the world, but you can prepare your soul. And that's what personal growth really is. Not a luxury, but a necessity. It's your armor. It's your foundation. It's your preparation for the seasons that haven't yet arrived. Growth doesn't guarantee an easy life, but it guarantees you won't be easily broken. The stronger you become on the inside, the less the outside can shake you. So read the book, take the class, have the hard conversation, practice the discipline. Get uncomfortable, because comfort is not where strength is built. You're not training for today, you're training for what's coming, and no one knows what that will be. But you can meet it with strength if you've taken the time to grow. The seasons won't ask if you're ready. They'll just arrive, so be the one who prepared. Be the one who didn't wait to get stronger until life forced you to. Because in the end, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your preparation. And preparation is the fruit of personal growth. Taking responsibility isn't about guilt. It's about growth. It's not self-blame. It's self-leadership. There's a big difference between shame and ownership. One tears you down. The other builds you up. When you take responsibility, you're not saying you're flawed or broken. You're saying you're capable. You're saying, I have the power to make this better. Guilt keeps you stuck in the past. Responsibility pulls you forward. It doesn't mean you caused every problem, but it does mean you're committed to finding a solution. It means you're done waiting on someone else to fix what you can improve. It means you're stepping up instead of shutting down. You're not blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. You're accepting that your choices have consequences, and more importantly, that your future choices can create new outcomes. This is what self-leadership looks like. It's the decision to be in the driver's seat of your own life, to steer, to navigate, to adjust the course when needed. You don't grow by avoiding responsibility. You grow by embracing it, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient. The moment you say, if this is on me, you open the door to change. You stop being a passenger. You start becoming the architect. Growth begins where blame ends. It begins when you stop saying, it's their fault, and start asking, what can I do differently? That's a powerful question. That question turns setbacks into lessons. It turns regret into wisdom. It turns pain into purpose. Because growth doesn't come from perfect conditions. It comes from honest reflection. From being willing to say, I made that decision, and now I'll make a better one. Responsibility is a mindset. It's how leaders are made. Not the kind with a title, but the kind who lead their own lives with clarity, courage, and consistency. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself. And you can't lead yourself if you keep denying your role in your own results. This is not about being hard on yourself. It's about being real with yourself. It's easy to look outward, to blame the system, to blame the boss, to blame the world. But responsibility says, I may not have created this situation, but I will not wait for someone else to change it. It puts you in motion. It ignites your discipline. It turns victims into victors. No one drifts their way to success. You get there by intention, and intention is born from responsibility. You take the reins, you set the direction. You decide what happens next, not because it's easy, but because you're strong enough to carry it. And every time you do, you grow. Stronger in mindset, stronger in discipline, stronger in character. Taking responsibility isn't a punishment. It's a promotion, a shift from being at the mercy of life to being the one who leads it. It's not self-blame. It's self-respect, self-determination. It's self-leadership. And it's the first step toward becoming the person you were meant to be. Desire without discipline leads nowhere. Action based on responsibility creates real transformation. Everyone wants something. Everyone dreams. Everyone wishes for a better life, a healthier body, a more stable future, a meaningful purpose. But wanting alone doesn't get it done. Desire is the spark, but discipline is the engine. And without that engine, you'll burn out before you ever begin the journey. It's not enough to hope. It's not enough to feel inspired for a moment. What matters is what you do next. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's choosing the long-term win over the short-term excuse. Desire is passive. Discipline is active. You can sit with desire for years. You can talk about it, think about it, even feel frustrated about not having it. But until you move, until you act, it stays a wish. Discipline turns a someday into a right now. It's the decision to show up when it's hard, to repeat the action until it becomes a habit, to stay consistent when motivation fades. Desire will start the race, but only discipline can carry you across the finish line. And that's where responsibility comes in. Because when you take responsibility, you stop waiting to feel like it. You stop expecting perfect conditions. You stop giving yourself a way out. You say, oh, this is mine to do. And that decision changes everything. You begin to act not just out of emotion, but out of commitment, out of clarity, out of purpose. Responsibility creates urgency. It fuels discipline with meaning. Because now it's not just about what you want, it's about who you're becoming. And when your actions come from that place, you begin to transform. Not just on the surface, but deep within. Your character starts to shift. Your standards rise. Your thinking sharpens. Your habits harden into patterns of excellence. And day by day, you begin to close the gap between who you are and who you were meant to be. That kind of growth doesn't come from dreaming. It comes from doing again and again, even when it's slow, even when it's quiet, even when no one sees. Desire says, I want to change. Discipline says, I'm willing to work for it. Responsibility says, I'll do it whether it's easy or not. And that trio, desire, discipline, and responsibility, is what builds real transformation. You don't need perfect talent. You don't need the ideal circumstances. You need to make a choice, to act on what you want with the consistency of someone who's all in. Because the world doesn't give rewards for wishing. It gives rewards for working, for staying in the fight, for rising after each fall. Let desire give you the vision. Let discipline build the path. Let responsibility be the fuel. And let your actions create the future you've only imagined until now. Your future is shaped by your daily decisions. What you do consistently matters more than what you do occasionally. Every day, you're making choices. Some seem small, some feel routine, but they all add up. Every morning you wake up, you decide what kind of day you'll have. You decide how you'll think, how you'll act, how you'll respond. And those decisions, stacked one on top of another, are building the life you're going to live. Your habits are carving your path. Not your dreams, not your intentions, but your repeated actions. The life you want is not created in a moment of inspiration. It's created in the quiet commitment to show up day after day when the motivation is gone and all that's left is discipline. Success is not an event. It's a process built on what you do daily. You can't eat healthy once and expect to be fit. You can't save money 1 month and expect to be wealthy. You can't study hard for 1 week and expect to be a master. It's not about the big effort every now and then. It's about the small choices made over and over again. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is found in what you do repeatedly. Consistency is the great multiplier. It takes simple actions and turns them into powerful results over time. It's easy to underestimate the power of daily discipline. It doesn't feel dramatic. It doesn't feel exciting, but that's exactly why it works. Because while others wait for the perfect moment, you're building. While others look for shortcuts, you're laying the foundation. While others want fast results, you're learning patience and gaining strength 1 brick at a time. Excellence is not about talent. It's about habits. The habit of showing up. The habit of giving your best. the habit of doing what needs to be done even when no one's watching. Your future self is shaped by your current choices, the way you talk to yourself, the way you treat your body, the way you handle stress, the way you manage your time. Every small decision is a vote for the person you're becoming. If you want to change your life, start with your daily routines. Don't chase perfection. Chase consistency, because that's where the real transformation happens. Anyone can be disciplined for a day, but the ones who rise are the ones who commit every day, even when it's boring, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it doesn't seem to be working yet. Keep doing the work. Keep making the right choice. Keep trusting the process, because what you do consistently will echo far louder than what you do once in a while. You don't have to be extreme. You just have to be consistent. And one day you'll look back and realize every step, every effort, every choice was leading you right here. To the future, you chose one decision at a time. You must be the change agent in your life. Don't wait for opportunity. Build it. Too many people spend their lives waiting for someone to notice them, waiting for the right moment, waiting for things to feel perfect before they start. But the truth is, opportunity doesn't show up at your doorstep. It's created through effort, through vision, through persistence. No one is coming to hand you your dream. No one is going to do the work for you. It's on you. You are the architect of your future. You are the builder of the life you want. You are the one who decides what comes next. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need the stars to align. You just need to believe that change begins with you. If the door hasn't opened, build your own door. If the table isn't set for you, create your own table. You are more powerful than your circumstances. You are more capable than your fears. Being a change agent means refusing to stay stuck. It means refusing to settle for a good enough. It means choosing action over excuses, movement over hesitation, courage over comfort. You don't need everything figured out to move forward. You just need to move. One step, one action, one decision that says, I'm no longer waiting, I'm becoming. People may doubt you. They may not see your vision. They may not understand your fire. But that's not their job. It's yours. You were not made to sit in the background of your own story. You were made to lead it, to shape it, to rise inside it. Don't wait for the right time. Make it right by taking action. Don't wait for the approval. Validate your own worth with your work. Don't wait for clarity. Find it in the doing, not the doubting. Every great creator began by believing they had the power to begin, not when they were ready, not when it was easy, but when they decided to act anyway. Stop waiting to feel confident. Confidence grows from action, not before it. Be the one who starts the thing no one thought was possible. Be the one who steps out when others play it safe. Be the one who proves that vision plus discipline can build what once seemed impossible. Opportunity doesn't appear, it's forged. It's born from sweat, sacrifice, and stubborn belief. It's created by those who show up before the results and keep going long after the applause fades. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. And now is the time to build, to try, to stumble maybe, but to get up and keep going. Because change doesn't just happen to you. It happens through you, through your focus, through your persistence, through your refusal to quit. Be the spark. Be the builder. Be the one who doesn't wait for life to shift, but shifts life through deliberate action. You must be the change agent in your life. Don't wait for opportunity. Build it, and build it with your own two hands. Say I will on more than I wish. Commitment moves mountains. Wishful thinking builds none. Wishing feels good. It's hopeful. It's light. It lets you imagine something better. But wishing alone won't change your life, because wishing doesn't require action. It doesn't require sacrifice. It doesn't require follow through. Anyone can wish, but not everyone is willing to say, I will, is powerful. It's a declaration. It's a promise. It's a decision to step into effort, not just fantasy. When you say I will, you take ownership. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You stop depending on luck. You stop treating your goals like maybe. They become musts. Wishing says, I hope it works out. Commitment says, I'll keep going until it does. You can wish to be fit, or you can say, I will train today. You can wish for success, or you can say, I will build something of value. You can wish for change, or you can say, I will become the change I need. Wishes are passive, commitment is active, and the people who move mountains are not the ones dreaming at the base. They're the ones climbing with tired legs and a focused mind. When you live with commitment, your words begin to match your actions. You don't just talk, you do. You don't just hope, you move. I will is uncomfortable. It means work. It means repetition. It means holding yourself accountable even when no one is watching. But it's in that discomfort that transformation begins. When you commit, you build trust with yourself. Every time you follow through, you prove that your word means something. And trust in yourself is the foundation of confidence. It's the fuel for momentum. People ask, how do I stay motivated? The answer is commitment. Motivation fades, emotions shift, but commitment remains. It shows up when you don't feel like it. It pushes forward when progress is slow. It keeps your eyes on the vision and your feet in motion. You can spend your life waiting, or you can spend your life building. You can talk about what might happen, or you can make it happen. Every time you say, I will, you take another step toward the life you want. You stop being a spectator and become the creator. Say, I will when you're tired. Say, I will when the doubt creeps in. Say, I will when no one else believes in your dream. Because what you repeat becomes who you are. And if you keep saying, I will, you will. You'll rise, you'll grow, you'll build something real, something lasting, something worth the fight. Wishful thinking is soft. It disappears in the wind. But commitment builds things that last, that stand tall, that withstand the storms. So stop wishing, start declaring, start deciding, say I will, and then go prove it. Your life improves when you do. Personal responsibility is the first step toward personal freedom. Change doesn't begin out there. It begins in here, in the choices you make, in the habits you build, in the mindset you choose to live with. If you want a better life, start by becoming a better version of yourself. Not perfect, not flawless, just committed, just willing to grow. The truth is, nothing really gets better until you do. You can change jobs, change cities, change people. But if you don't change you, you'll carry the same patterns, the same frustrations, the same limitations everywhere you go. Improvement isn't about achieving a finish line. It's about moving forward bit by bit, day by day. It's about choosing growth over comfort, effort over ease, responsibility over excuses, because personal responsibility is the foundation of all lasting change. When you take responsibility for your thoughts, your actions, your results, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the creator of your life. You stop saying, I can't because, and start saying, what can I do to change this? That shift is everything. Because when you blame, you give away your power. But when you own your choices, you take your power back. Responsibility is not about guilt or shame. It's about strength. It's about knowing that you can respond, that you can choose differently, that you can rise above what once held you down. The more you grow, the more your world opens. Opportunities appear where you once saw only obstacles. Clarity replaces confusion, and freedom, true freedom, comes into focus. Not the kind of freedom that waits for permission, but the kind that says, I have the ability to shape my future. Freedom begins when you stop waiting and start doing. It begins when you stop hoping life gets easier and decide that you will get stronger. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being willing to ask the right questions. What's working? What's not? What do I need to take ownership of right now? Every area of your life improves when you take responsibility for it. Your health, your mindset, your money, your relationships, because no one else can do the work for you. No one else can change your story. They can support you. They can inspire you. But they can't do the reps. That's your job. And it's the most powerful job you'll ever have. You are responsible for what you allow, what you tolerate, what you repeat, and what you become. And that's not a burden. That's a gift. Because it means the change you're searching for is already within you. It starts with a decision. A quiet but powerful choice to improve yourself, not for applause, not for approval, but because you know you're capable of more. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be committed. Your life improves when you do. And the first step is always the same. Take responsibility, own your life, and give yourself permission to grow into the person you were meant to be. So today, make a decision that your future won't be left to chance. Don't wait for someone to hand you the life you dream of. Go build it. Take full responsibility. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Because the moment you choose to own your story, you reclaim your power to change the ending. Your life is your responsibility, and that's the best news you'll ever hear.